What is up, everybody? Welcome in Monday, DFS Army's MLB pre-lock show. 10-game slate. I am joined by Tattoo. Tattoo, how are you doing today?
Not bad, not bad. My still had issues with one of my medications. This time, me just forgetting to take it, and when I don't take it, my stomach is in an uproar from. It's from my gallbladder surgery, so if I don't take it, eating a cracker is like drinking a gallon of water, tap water in Mexico.
Sounds awesome.
But interesting slate, I think.
It's a slate. I should say, I think I like it, but I also don't know if I understand some of these implied run totals on this slate, but um, we'll definitely get into that.
I think on FanDuel Scooble being basically 40% and the next highest person being 13, there's, a lot of leverage to be had there on FanDuel. If you don't think Scooble,
Yeah, I guess I probably would be happier to fade him on FanDuel than DraftKings. Um, it's still tough.
DK, you got to have two pitchers anyway. And I haven't seen the pricing over there yet.
It, it's just still tough because his last start against Kansas City, he went for basically 40 DK points, which probably was somewhere around 70 FanDuel points, is my guess. I haven't looked at FanDuel at all, to be honest. So um, I don't know. He he just easily feels like the safest option on the slate. Um,
He's
when we
the
have,
best pitcher on this slate.
yeah, I mean, he's easily the best pitcher as well.
65.
65, yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely up there. The biggest thing is like he's only on DK wise, he's only $500 more than Logan Henderson. And while I am a Logan Henderson fan, even though I do not like the Brewers, um, Logan Henderson hasn't shown a stealing ability. Like he's shown really good ability to get 25 to 28 DK points, but he hasn't shown like the big time upside games that like Scooble, last year would get frequently, right?
Yeah.
Like, um, you know, as a two-time Cy Younger, like I don't know, it basically Henderson's ceiling right now at 28 is less than what Mizorowski is averaging per game on the season. Obviously, we know Mizorowski's a much better pitcher, but like, I'm just trying to give some context to Henderson. He's just been really good.
Yeah.
Uh, but then, like, the next two highest owned pitchers are guys that are super volatile. At least on DK, it's Detmers and Gore.
Yeah.
They're essentially the same pitcher. Like, I'm going to say that over and over again. Um, the same volatility, the same issues, walks and home runs. Um, but they can strike out guys in bunches. Um, I don't like it. Just pitching falls off to me after Scooble tonight, which isn't ideal, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad to see Freddie Peralta plummet in ownership. When I first recorded my video earlier and did some stuff, like he was around 12 or 13% projected ownership, and I was going to call the field morons. Um, he's been absolutely atrocious this season, and he's going into Sacramento to pitch. Like, why would you be popular? I don't know what he's on FanDuel, but
Very, very low, if anything. I'm sure,
yeah, he's down to 5.5% now on DK. But if you're fading Scooble on FanDuel, like, what are you planning to do with your pitching?
And whatchamacallit, Peralta was 0.25% owned.
It's a big difference between DK and FanDuel there.
Um, switch to sites. Now, I didn't necessarily say I'm looking to fade Scooble, but if I did, I like Sonny Gray. Um, like is it? It's Scooble, then Gore, Detmers, Henderson, but Sonny Gray and Henderson are basically the same ownership. But the only ones above 10% are Scooble, Gore, and Detmers. But I would probably Sonny Gray would be my first option, and then maybe one of Gore or Detmers. I guess Gore's got a little better K matchup, but
Yeah, I. It's tough. Like, um, I've gone back and forth on Sonny Gray and how strongly I want to rate him. I guess, and ultimately I ended up rating him as a 4 star. Really because Akamoto was scratched, like so that takes away some power, some fear in the Toronto lineup. Alejandro Kirk isn't in the lineup either. Um, so the lineup for Toronto is watered down a little bit, so I think that helps Gray. But he also hasn't been very good in 2 starts against Toronto this season.
yeah,
Uh, so like that's my hang up. But really, like if I had to bet money on a pitcher getting us at least 15 DK points, at least 30 FanDuel points, say, um,
yeah,
Sonny Gray would be one of the 3 guys that I would be betting on. Scooble and Logan Henderson being the other 2.
yeah. And I mean, if you just go like the research station and look at Toronto the last 7 days, I mean, nobody's doing shit really.
Yeah, I mean, Springer being back in the lineup is kind of annoying because he has strong history against Sonny Gray, but
Yeah,
also being out of the lineup probably hurts him a little bit too. So I don't know, like Sonny Gray just feels like the blah option, even though it's probably an option that can win us money tonight, just because. Um, I have a hard time believing the Angels will go off, but that doesn't mean that Gore can't struggle and allow a bunch of base runners. Um, I just, I mean, I prefer Detmers over Gore, but like, I mean, I'm gonna be fairly heavy on Mackenzie Gore too, just because I want that upside in my pool. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the Dean Kramer spot either. Um, he's giving up home runs that are rivaling Jameson Taillon numbers this year in a much smaller sample size. Um, what has he given up? Like 12 home runs in 40 innings or something like that on the season, or 12 and 41 innings maybe. Um, like that part isn't good, but yeah, there is the revenge narrative part of it. Um, and there just are strikeouts in the Baltimore lineup, right? Like, especially in a right on right spot, like Tyler O'Neill, Kobe Mayo. Those are guys that have really mostly been playing only against left handed pitching this year. Um, Now, they are two of the hottest hitters on Baltimore, so I guess take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Um, but I also think you just have to pick on a team that has Jackson Holiday hitting third. As much as I like Jackson Holiday, him as a three hitter just is not on my bingo card. So, uh, I think there's a lot of guys that kind of fall into the Dean Kramer bucket of, just going to use them and hope. I think Trevor Rogers on that the other side in that game. Uh, Minnesota's been fairly questionable against left-handed pitching, top to bottom wise. So, like, is Trevor Rogers somebody that you want to use a bunch of, or are you trying to shy away from it as an Orioles fan?
No, I think I was trying to remember Minnesota. Like 5.5 strikeouts over their last 3 games. They're in the top 10, top 8 in least strikeouts. So I guess his upside concerns me, but he's been pitching a lot better. I was trying to remember how he had done here. Yeah, a 49 in his last start. 24, 37, 44, 31, 33, 47, 49. I mean, after that, kind of start to the season other than the first game, which in the first game of the season, he put up a 46 versus Minnesota.
So Minnesota at home against left-handed pitching, fourth fewest strikeouts in baseball, or fourth fewest strikeout rate. But they have the sixth lowest ISO against left-handed pitching at home. Very similar to a team that I'm going to talk about in a little bit when it comes to a pitcher, so I'll save that. But they're putting the ball in play, but there isn't a lot of power to it. They're slightly below average in WRC plus at 98, with 100 being average. So, like, it's not a matchup that should scare us with Rogers. We should just obviously worry about raw upside.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not really worried about Rogers getting roughed up.
Right.
But what do we need? At least 24? 20 to 24?
I mean, GPP wise for me on DK, like, I want guys that I deem have like 25 plus upside. Like,
Yeah.
And I think there is upside there. I mean, obviously he did it against them earlier this season. Pretty different lineup for the Twins right now, but still, I do think he's capable of doing it. I don't know. Maybe the smaller field play would be him, and the larger field play might be pivot down to like Christian Scott, because Scott's got much more upside, but he's probably going to be a lot more volatile and has a chance to get lit up by the Braves too.
Yeah.
I believe he's been pretty good in 2 starts against the Braves this season, or at least one of the two. One of the two, because he put up 22 2 starts ago, and then 13 the one before that. The first one he just dealt with walk issues. If he takes those away, like, things are a lot better. So yeah, Scott feels like that super upside play. He's shown more of a ceiling than even Logan Henderson has this season, which is kind of weird. I see two names here up near the top that I am not playing at all tonight. What
One
are your
being
thoughts
Soroka.
on Soroka and Casey Mize?
Yeah, I don't really have any interest in either one of them. I mean, Soroka's got, I guess, has a good matchup, but I'll just pass.
Yeah, that I wanted to
Not for
play Soroka.
$8,200.
Like I wanted to play Soroka, but he threw one rehab start after missing 2 months and threw 57 pitches in that rehab start. Um, even if we go by traditional expansion on pitch counts, we'd only be looking at around 72 pitches. Uh, and a lot of times now, teams have kind of been even more limited for some of these guys that have missed multiple months. So, like, there's a chance that he comes out and only throws 65 to 70 pitches. Um, and if that's the case, like, I just can't go there with Soroka as
Yeah.
much as I want to. Because he has had some success against Colorado this season. Casey Mize, on the other hand, like I'm not using a right-handed pitcher against Milwaukee. I get
Yeah.
Mize shut them down early this season, like nearly 4 months ago. Um, Things have changed for Mize since then, and obviously he's in a new place. So, well, the Brewers on
And I
the
think
road.
Milwaukee's a better team than they were at the
Right.
beginning of the season.
Yeah, like
It took, you know,
those early starts are still they're tough to follow as gospel late in the
yeah,
season. Um, Mize looked horrendous in his first start with the Padres. Uh, I don't really think that he's just going to magically turn it around against a team like the Brewers, who just get a bunch of guys on base. Like
yeah,
pitchers against the Brewers, if you want to use them, are probably generally better plays on FanDuel because they just do get base runners. Um, but so like that's two guys, nearly 25% projected ownership that I'm not playing at all. Um, any guys down here in the lower half, say sub, I guess underneath Logan Henderson that you're interested at all, or considered at least?
and ownership.
Yeah.
Like you said, you'd have to consider Christian Scott. I just wondered about Rosinski just getting a good pitcher's park, but and I mean the Giants lineup of lately. Eh, I mean, if you believe that the Dodgers' struggles are real, like the way they've just, I mean, Noah Cameron, but
Um, yeah. So I had to debate Wisniewski a little bit because it's obviously the ballpark I love using pitchers. I just don't think Wisniewski has any upside. Like he's not a K guy. He's only
yeah,
throwing like 80 pitches or something in both of his two starts, so it's not like they're extending him. Um, so ultimately, I just decided, you know what, Wisniewski's just not gonna make it for me tonight. Um, Obviously, could come back to bite me just because like I am technically playing a bunch of guys that are super volatile. Gore, Detmers, Rogers, technically Kramer, Christian Scott, like Sonny Gray, even against Toronto, has been volatile. Like it's a big group of volatile pitchers.
yeah.
Um, to where Wisniewski probably isn't going to be volatile, but like, am I really going to be happy that I played him when he puts up 13? I don't really think so.
And San
Um,
Francisco strikes out less at home than on the road.
yeah. So yeah, I just couldn't get to Wisniewski. Noah Cameron is the spot of the night for me in trying to decide what to do. Ken Kenneth points it out. Like we know the Dodgers are ice cold offensively. The Dodgers are going to wake up offensively at some point, but I've also been saying it much of the season. Like, if I'm using a pitcher against the LA Dodgers, it's going to be a left-handed pitcher. And Noah Cameron comes in on fire, right? Like, his last three starts have been absolutely dominant. Two of those were against the Twins. The other one was against another weak team, I think. So, like, big step up in opposing lineup, but he's just throwing it extremely well while the Dodgers are not hitting it at all. Um, so it feels like a spot where like Noah Cameron continues to dominate and people still wonder what's going on with the Dodgers,
Yeah.
or the Dodgers score like 4 runs in the first. Like I think it's one or the other. The Dodgers going back home, maybe they finally wake up. Um, you know, at some point, like I'm gonna be super high on the Dodgers when they bust out and explode. Like Otani and Pages go like back to back, and then Freeman doubles or something to start out a game, and then we're like, okay, the Dodgers are back. Um, but yeah, left-handed pitching against the Dodgers, something that's not terrible. Uh, One other name on this list is somebody I am considering playing tonight, Tattoo. Um, and it's probably the dumbest play on the slate for me, outside of Freddie Peralta. Like, you, I think that's the worst play to make tonight is playing Freddie Peralta, even though it's against the A's that have struggled. Um, it's going to be the other side in that game with Jacob Lopez against the Tampa Bay Rays. Um, Lopez has looked better and better each of his last couple starts. We remember what he was capable of last year, especially in August and September, where he emerged before he got shut down with a
Yeah.
forearm thing or whatever it was. Um, and well, Tampa Bay just doesn't strike out basically ever. Um, they are the worst team against left-handed pitching on the road, and it's not even close. They have a team ISO of 102. Second worst is like 110. They're just really not good against left-handed pitching. So if he somehow avoids J-Cam and maybe Velade, I mean Yandy I guess too, but really it's J-Cam and then Velade. Like he has a route to surprise tonight, so I'm interested. Am I donating my money? Is what I'm gonna ask you.
No. Because I was just looking, because I saw his ISO is like .091, and he's got a good K score. I mean, at home, 2 starts ago, I mean, he didn't rack up a huge score because they didn't get the winner of the quality start. But what did he get? Had eight strikeouts and 5 1/3, and gave up 1 run versus Boston. And Boston's been the hottest team in baseball the last month. So I mean, you throw a win and a quality start in there, but he didn't go 6. But
Yeah, and then he followed that up, um, pitching in Cincinnati, where he allowed just
with
two
9
runs of
strikeouts.
9. Well, that was where he struck out like 7 of the first 8 or something that he faced.
Yeah, because he had 9
Um,
in 5 innings.
yeah.
Now, does that concern you at all? Like 5 innings, 5 1/3, 5, 4, 1,
Well, I
3,
mean,
2, 4.
because really it's the pitch count numbers. Um, it's they don't have a hard stop on him by the looks of it. Three
And he's
starts ago,
5,500. So
3 starts ago in 5 innings, he threw 91 pitches against the Twins. Then he threw 97 against Boston, pitching into the sixth, and came out. He threw 87 in his last start. So there's a route to him throwing 95 to 100 pitches.
yeah.
Um,
And I mean, for 5,500, I don't give a shit if he only goes 5 innings. If he gets me, I know it's Tampa Bay, but if he gets me 5 strikeouts, as long as he's not giving up,
Right. I mean, obviously the big worry is home runs, and he did have a home run issue in his first 7 starts of the season. He gave up 10 home runs, I think, but he's given up just two over the last four. Um, so, and obviously that Boston game came at home, like you mentioned, so that shows what he's capable of doing, even pitching in this ballpark. Now that Boston game kind of struggled just because he allowed 9 base runners, and that's going
Yeah.
to hurt DK wise. Um, it's a super volatile play, but sub 1% owned against a team that basically swings a wet pool noodle against left-handed pitching. If he manages to find a way to keep J Cam in the yard, who J Cam has the lowest home run odds on the slate tonight, so you know that's the issue. But um, I think there's a chance like that Lopez just outscores a bunch of these other random guys. Like it's not inconceivable that he can't go out and outscore Sonny Gray even, because Sonny Gray has a terrible K matchup too. So um, yeah, I know. Part of
Yeah, I was
me
looking
wants
at
to try to get
his
that
home run
chance.
numbers, and I guess since like May 19th, May 20, May 19th, he gave up one, but
Mm.
May 24th, starting then, 10 starts. I can't remember exactly the stat you gave, but yeah, he's had 4 home runs in those 10 starts, which has been one in the last 4 games.
So he just yeah, different pitcher. We legitimately saw this last year too. Um, Before he got hurt, so he got hurt in a game against Seattle in August, where he gave up 9 runs in 2 innings. Um, the game before that, he gave up two home runs, struck out 8 in 6 innings. But the 4 games before that, and um, I am going to point out, one of those 4 games was against the Tampa Bay Rays, nearly a year to the day. Um, the 4 starts before that, he allowed 0 runs in 24 innings, and he struck out 28. So like that reminds us of what he's capable of doing. So that's kind of why I love Lopez for just random large field GPP upside. Um, that started a year ago against Tampa Bay, which was at home in this ballpark too. He went 7 innings, struck out 9, 0 walks, 4 hits, 0 runs allowed. Um, so maybe Jacob Lopez is just an August pitcher. Like I don't know. Maybe
I
I'm
like.
just insane and I will
No,
crash and burn. And
um, you've talked me into him on DK. I don't think I'm going to play him on FanDuel. Well,
no,
I'm not,
it just
but
lines up because Tampa Bay's really weak against left-handed pitching. Even though you look at their lineup and think, well, with Yandy and J-Cam, like they should crush left-handed pitchers. Um, J-Cam does decent, but Yandy doesn't really crush them the way that you might think either. So yeah,
I mean, damn, you if you took 5%, you have 10 times the field.
right. I have a feeling I'm gonna have 10%, so I'm gonna be about 20x the field.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't. It'd be tough. Like I don't. I'm not positive I can get there in single entry,
No, I don't.
but
Unless it's a super large field single entry and you want to
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. If it's like 1,200 or more people, when
Or
then
if you're, in your single entry large field and you believe that Boston is going to be the mega chalk, but you absolutely love Boston and want to have Boston stack in your build, well, just make it with Lopez, and you're completely different from them.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I mean, you automatically should be different anyways because Tampa Bay is going to be super chalky. So you're using the pitcher against them. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with 10% ish and 20x the field, and if it fails, like then I'm in trouble for 10%.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna have 8% of Tampa Bay stacks or something, or 8 to 12 or whatever I'm gonna end up at. But I don't really want to be super heavy on Tampa Bay either. Maybe Tampa Bay mini stacks, but
Yeah.
I just don't like the overall lineup against left-handed pitching. So,
I mean,
all right. What was that?
no, I was just gonna say, like, if I stack Tampa, I gotta have Junior, and he's so effing expensive.
Right.
Which I mean, he needs to do more than hit a home run to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, if he just hits a solo home run and that's it in 4 at bats or something,
Yeah.
um, I as much as I want the raw points, like I don't think you're completely screwed. Basically, um, you know, you would need the third base position to be absolutely trash tonight. For a solo home run from a $6,400 player, for that to destroy you. Now, like looking at names at third base tonight, it does look a little barren overall, but um, multiple guys on that list are going to hit home runs. Like that's just
Yeah.
the way that it goes. So, um, yeah. Do we want to switch over to the bats now, or do you have anything else to add about pitching?
No, no bats, because it was something that shocked me on there.
Well, there you see Tampa Bay easily the number one stack from a percentage wise. Uh, Basically, the number two and number three added together equals what the Tampa Bay projected ownership is right now. What is the thing that stood out to you or shocked you?
I must have hit a button and had it sorted by something else, because it makes much more sense after I refreshed, and it went back to like sorted by leverage or whatever. Because whatever I had it done, like Boston was dead last, and I was like, how in the world is Boston the last in leverage?
Yeah. Um, I am really shocked to see Arizona this high. Um, like this is my first time looking at the leverage stacks today. So seeing Arizona number two in total ownership really surprises me. Um, I also don't really believe in their implied run total, which I led with at the beginning of the show. There are some implied run totals that I just don't agree with. Arizona is one of them.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I like the Mets and the Braves more than Arizona, and they're not Arizona combined.
The the Mets are arguably my favorite team on the entire slate. Um, but like Arizona, like Gabriel Hughes hasn't been terrible. Um, for Colorado, like it's not like he's Michael Lorenzen going in there, and we expect him to just get absolutely destroyed. Um, and you can see by pitcher Woba, like they're 16th out of 20 on this slate, right?
Yeah,
There must be multiple tied. Yeah, they're tied with Colorado too. So I that's the one I just don't understand. Like that implied run total just seems super aggressive. Um, I'll sort it by implied run total since I had things to say about run total. Houston, another team in San Francisco tonight with a run total over 5.
Yeah. Pass.
Uh, Tidwell has a small sample size, but he's, that's 15th on the slate in pitcher woba. It's not like it's a gas can spot in that ballpark. Um, I don't believe Atlanta's run total should be quite that high. Uh, I believe a little bit more in Christian Scott, but that one's not as insane to me just because
Yeah.
they probably should be in the mid fours, so only down a couple spots. Um, the Texas one seems aggressive on the road. It's only 4.28, but it's still, um, I don't know. Like I prefer Detmers in that matchup. So like the Angels feel like they should be the ones slightly higher.
Yeah.
Um, man, Philadelphia, that's that's the one that's really tough for me because they feel like they should be able to crush against Dobbins, but they just haven't really been. And Dobbins hasn't exactly been getting crushed either. So to see you know, basically a 4.9 implied run total for that team right now uh, seems to be off. Um, I don't know if you have any thoughts on any of these teams, but those two numbers seem those numbers seem high, and then like the Mets we already mentioned,
Yeah.
and Colorado even seem really low to me, and probably the Brewers because of we shouldn't be afraid of Mize, but
Yeah, yeah, I agree with all of that. Arizona and Houston is definitely too hot.
the Houston one blows my mind because it's in San Francisco, um, and they don't come in on fire, right? Like
Yeah.
Pena is starting to cool off. Jordan is ice cold. I don't know if you looked at Jordan's recent numbers. Um, Paredes and Walker not really doing a whole lot. Like they've been carried recently by Altuve, Cam Smith, and Taylor Trammell. Um, yeah, I don't know. It feels like one of those just weird slates, and then we look at ownership, and like I mentioned, Arizona, Baltimore is the fourth highest owned. I want exposure because of Kramer's home run issues, but I'm not making them my fourth highest owned team. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. Ugh.
Um, the
Milwaukee seems
Dodgers,
low.
yeah, Milwaukee's just too low. Even though, yeah, that's the thing. Um, Milwaukee's a team where you stack them or almost just don't use their bats, like maybe outside of Churio or
Yeah.
Terang.
Yeah.
Um, so you'd think that they'd have more ownership as a collective, just because if you're playing one of them, you should be playing multiple of them. Um, so Colorado should be higher. I don't care. The Arizona bullpen's pretty bad, and if Soroka's or can be bad, I guess they did just DFA their former closer Paul Sewald, so maybe they're getting a little better. Um, but with Soroka being limited pitch count wise, Colorado should be higher owned than 5%. Um, Especially because you like Jake McCarthy's on fire, and you get revenge narrative. He gets to go back into Arizona and show off. Um, don't you think St. Louis should be higher owned too? I mean, we already said the Mets and Atlanta, but
Yeah.
St. Louis against Andrew Painter, um, Jordan Walker's starting to heat up again. Herrera's been on fire. Burleson's just hitting home runs. Um, they have the St. Louis has the number one pitcher wobble matchup on the slate.
Yeah, I had St. Louis right there in tier 2.
I think they're a tier two team for me. It's been a while since I made them. Yeah, they are. Um, I have to make some adjustments to my tiers because I still have Tampa Bay as a tier 2, and I kind of want to move them down. They started out as a tier 1, to be honest, when I first made my list. And then the more I looked at everything, the more I just wanted to slide them down.
Yeah.
Um, Problem is I don't really have a ton of teams that I want to move up to tier 2 then. Um, yeah, DK messed with Philadelphia. It was just the Schwarber part. They gave him just first base only, which is really annoying. Um, I mean,
Why would they take away Shores?
yeah, that I don't understand that. It's just annoying for Schwarber because Bohm still has third base eligibility, doesn't he?
I believe
Um,
so. Yeah,
or
he's first and third. Stout
yeah, he's first and
Stott
third.
has second and third, I think.
Stott still has second, which is good for us. Um, because I don't want to ever play Bryson Stott at third base. Like if you start playing Stott as a third baseman, I think you're lowering your lineup's upside. Like we
Yeah,
need to be able to use him at second base. The problem is Luis Ariz. Um, but yeah, that I don't know.
they need
That
to figure
team.
out something for guys who are almost strictly DH.
Yeah, he played more games in the outfield than anywhere else. You know, it goes back to
Yeah,
you have Otani as first base outfield. He's never played first base at the major league level. Like, why is he playing first base? Um, he hasn't played. Otani hasn't played outfield in I don't know 7 years or something. Something
yeah.
extreme.
But I'm saying, it's like
Um,
where you get to play him at with, like, like you said, guys like that don't play. Like,
yeah, you really just need
either
to
add a
default.
utility and they're only available in utility, or
No, I think you really just default them to what their best secondary position is.
yeah,
Um, and like Otani technically was an outfielder, so the outfield only. Like he should not have first base eligibility. Schwarber could be first base outfield, I guess technically because he did play some first base with Boston and maybe
he
even the
played first
Nationals.
base last night or something like that.
That's probably
Yes.
why they moved him that way. Um, but like that's just a traditional like I don't know outfield wise. There are a few other guys that are similar, but we're never gonna know what they do or why they do it. So
Yeah,
what it is. Um, who is your number one stack tonight?
Red Sox. Right now, they're the only tier one
They're probably one B for me. Um,
behind A Mets.
Behind the Mets. Um, I fell in love with the Mets BVP. I'll be honest. Um, but they did destroy Elder earlier this season too. Obviously, that's tied into some of that BVP. Um, but also recently, there's a few Mets that are swinging it pretty well from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
I do wish Luis Torrens was in the lineup yet, or at catcher for them. Um, so that was kind of annoying because I really wanted to play him as a cheaper power bat at catcher. But uh, yeah, it's the Mets and then Boston. Um, I've seen a little bit from Boston that it does make me believe that we are going to see a little bit of regression from them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expected, right? Like teams like that just don't stay that hot for over a month.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
just not sustainable.
so we see some guys falling, like Rafaela fell down, fell off. Like he's got an OPS of 517 over the last week. Um, Connor Wong is down to a 629 OPS. Obviously, Jake Rogers is just on fire somehow, but Wilson Contreras is dealing with an illness/injury, so he's playing through something. He's kind of cooled off. Jarren Duran is hitting extra base hits, but like he's still striking out too. Um, I don't know, like they keep rotating like Nick Sogard at second base or Siegler. Like those guys shouldn't keep it up. It's just kind of a lineup that should slowly fall off.
Yeah,
Um,
but is Jameson Talon the one that stopped the train?
right, and that's the thing. Tyon and his home run issues are a huge thing in this scenario. Um, so that's kind of why they're still a tier one for me. But like, I think over the next couple days, you're going to see me kind of trail off a love for Boston, um, in hopes that we get regression towards the mean, whatever the mean might be for them now. You know, their average as a team is much higher than it was, say, the first 2 months.
Yeah.
But where does it fall within that is the big question. So if you have Boston as your only tier one team, what teams are you rocking in tier two?
Um, Mets, Braves, Rays, A's, Phillies, St. Louis.
So you got a pretty large group of tier two teams tonight.
And I got 3 tier 3 Royals, Orioles, and Dodgers.
You're using the Royals, huh?
Probably mini stacks, maybe like a Witt and Caglione or something like that.
I would I would vote for Sal Perez over Witt. Witt's been absolutely dominated by Skubal in their
Yeah.
matchups. Um, Sal Perez has like 4 home runs off of Skubal, so like it's something that's decent. But I mean, I have 7 teams in my tier three. Um, Soon to be more than 7 because I'm going to readjust. Because Tampa Bay is going to fall to a tier three. Um, I just don't really have a team in my tier three that I want to move up. I'm not as high in Atlanta as you are, but maybe I should be. Um, so maybe that's the team that makes the most sense. But I'm
They just
also
had, sorry,
no.
but between let's see, Olsen is still white hot. Um, Raleigh is in one of his hot modes again, I guess. And then Acuna is hot, and Harris had the BVP. So those are just enough, guys to pique my interest.
Yeah, I think I can probably agree with you enough there. So I'll move Atlanta into my tier two. Um, as I try to figure out what I just moved around so that my rankings are correct on the site. Um, but I'm also debating teams like Colorado and Baltimore a little bit. Baltimore, obviously, the home run upside. It's really the whole similar thing to Boston, like because Kramer's basically been Jameson Tyon from a home run standpoint. Um, and Colorado, just because like I feel like people are over investing in Soroka in a limited appearance, and I can't stop playing Jake McCarthy. Is basically what it is.
Eh, not a bad disease to have.
Yeah. I mean, plus they have Cole Carrick and then Mickey Moniak and you have Goodman. Um, they need to find a
The
way to
Orioles got
call up Zach Veen because he's destroying baseballs in AAA. But they have no room in the outfield for another left-handed hitting outfielder. Um, was Philadelphia on your list of teams?
yeah.
Okay.
I just haven't figured out exactly who.
I mean, it's Bryce Harper for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Always Harper.
Probably Schwarber because like
He
Schwarber of all like hitters, probably the most likely to hit home runs in bunches. And he went from ice cold to a double
dude,
dong yesterday.
I swear I wish I would have wrote. I didn't want to put him on my notes yesterday because he's been so cold.
Mhm.
But I was almost like, this is when that sucker's going to hit like 2 or 3 home runs. It's like he's going to come out of it out of nowhere and go off.
Yeah, that. I mean, it's really what it is. Like, he now is probably the most likely guy in baseball to hit 5 home runs over the next 7 days or something.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Schwarber double dongs, right back again tonight because that's just the type of guy that he is. Um, home
I
runs
think
just
it's
come
like
in
the
bunches for
third or fourth highest odds tonight or something.
home runs come in bunches for most guys in baseball. Um, you know, it's the guys that are super random that you don't expect home runs to come. That when they hit home runs, that they're most likely not going to hit one for a while. Um, but in my experience, like my home runs came in bunches. Like I could go weeks without one, then all of a sudden hit 4 over the next 3 games or something. Um, so I always look for guys that when power gets hot, like it stays for a stretch. But those
Yeah,
are the guys that then slump the most too, right? Like because power slumps more than anything else. So, um, any other team? I think we've touched on most teams at all.
yeah.
Like, do you have any interest in Toronto at all since they've
Nah,
done damage to Sonny Gray?
no.
Like, they're the
Even if Sonny Gray
most
isn't
cheapest stack.
my, one of my favorite pitchers, I'm still not going to stack against him.
I mean, they are the second cheapest stack on the slate. So their point per dollar skyrockets.
Yeah,
But yeah, the rest of this stuff over here does not look good, right? Like third lowest implied run total, second lowest batter woba, third lowest leverage rank, fourth lowest average projected points per player. I mean that. So like even though you get super cheap and a high point per dollar, their projected points are just so low. And it's a lineup where we don't have, like yesterday, we don't have the Miz and Luzardo combo that we want to play together.
yeah,
Where we want to spend a ton of money at pitcher. We don't really have that tonight. So I don't really know that we need all that much value from our stacks. Because yesterday I was able to play those two together and still play like Colorado stacks who I liked. Like nearly every team you wanted yesterday, you could still make work with Mizorowski and Luzardo.
yeah.
So yeah, we can, I guess, switch back and get a position by position view here. I'm going to refresh, sort by ownership, and then I'll let you go first. I'll go, then you can give out your dongs, and we can get out of here.
Yeah, I was like, let me. I don't go in depth too greatly in catchers on FanDuel, so
Right.
unless somebody's really just standing out. But I did like Ryan Jeffers, but like Ivan Herrera is quite hot. So, but it'd be one of those first base. I'm just going to look at my sheets now because it's probably Matt Olson. Second base, probably Terang. Third base, it's always Junior, but if not, I'm kind of like Austin Riley. But I like Caleb Duran. Caleb Caleb Durbin and Bo Bichette, both of them. Third base, it's probably Lindor. Um, Outfield always, but I really like Acuna tonight. Churio, Harris, um, Carson Benji, and I want to say Tyler Neal, but he's either gonna, I mean, he could do both. He could strike out 3 times and hit a home run.
Yeah. For me, you you obviously took Ivan Herrera. I think he's just the smartest play at catcher on the slate. A little more expensive than we're used to on DK. I mean, 4,200 is not very terrible. I don't really have a cheaper guy. I like your Ryan Jeffers call because he's like the one guy that I really think could do damage against Trevor Rogers. Um, it's tough for me to even pinpoint anybody else.
The only other person I'll mention is Elias Diaz, just because
Oh,
he's 905 OPS, 327 ISO versus lefties.
yeah. Um, I guess if you're not on the Jacob Lopez train with me, Nick Fortes, he's done decent enough against left-handed pitching, and he's obviously in that ballpark. And he's super low owned for a team that's super popular, like sub 1% right now. I'm gonna guess that's gonna change. But it's a super popular team, but it's an unowned piece of that popular team. Um, First base, I think you can go a lot of different ways. I think my favorite is going to be Alec Burleson. I obviously like Matt Olson a decent amount as well. Um, I mean, obviously Schwarber as first base only really drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So I basically just have to, in my head, have to flip flop he and Bryce Harper. So I can't mention Harper at this position. Um, but yeah, Burleson most likely is that guy for me. Second base, little tougher for me. I think it's probably Bryson Stott. OPS of over 1,200 over the last week, so he just kind of comes in. I mean, Royce Lewis is probably the smartest play just based on recent trends. Um, but he even started to cool down because for a stretch he was every day had an OPS of between 12 and 1,300 over the previous week. It's down to 1063. I should put down in quotation marks because 1063 is still pretty strong.
Yeah.
Um, third, third base, as you said, it's JCam and then everybody else. You mentioned Bichette. I'll mention a Baltimore Oriole here because I mentioned it earlier in the show. Like Kobe Mayo's been rolling, even though I prefer him against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
OPS of 1235 over the last week is somebody I'm somewhat interested in. Shortstop, you said Lindor. He's far and away my number one. Um, you want to be a little different. Kalen Culpepper, the prospect for the Twins, who homered in his debut. That home run came off of a left-handed pitcher. Um, Otherwise, Willie Adames has had success against Hayden Wesneski, even though I don't like Adames all that much in general. Um, Outfield, I already mentioned Jake McCarthy, so I'm just going to keep playing Jake McCarthy while he's hot. This is one of those slates where I don't feel like I have to spend up in the outfield. Where we've had a lot of those recently where we want to play Otani, Jordan, and Pete Crow. We don't really, I mean, Otani's there, but I don't necessarily need to spend up. So you have McCarthy, you have Willier Obreu, who's been absolutely on fire. You love Michael Harris. You said Carson Bench, who makes sense to me. AJ Ewing, his teammate, another guy. You mentioned Tyler O'Neill, who I like the call, the way that he's been playing. I'll go with one more off the wall guy. How about Jose Siri for the Los Angeles Angels against a left-handed pitcher
He made my list.
who struggles on the road? He has an ISO of 304 against left-handed pitching on the season, and over the last week he has an OPS of 1429. So things kind of line up for Siri to be somebody of interest tonight. So,
when I was going through my sheets, and I went back and added him as a tier 3, but I was like, damn, I got a lot of Texas players listed.
I think I only have one right now.
I got like Nimmo, Langford,
I have Nimmo and Justin Foscue.
Ezekiel Duran, Foscue.
I skipped over
Jake
Duran,
Diaz.
because I think he has been dominated by Detmers. I think that's why I did. But Duran's been decent recently too. But I was kind of shocked at how well Nimmo's been against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
And he has a home run off of Detmers too. So he's like one of those guys that probably goes overlooked by the field. So like if you use him as a one-off in your pool, and then put like a minimum 6 to 8%. I didn't want to say that stupid number. I think you're probably in a good spot. But yeah, you want to give out some dongs and we can get out of here. We've already been on for over an hour.
Let's see. I agree with what we were talking about before with Schwarber just being hot. So I can see him going again. I like Acuna. I like Wilson Contreras. I like Jack Caglione. I actually do like Tyler O'Neill to hit a home run tonight. Jacob Wilson. And let's see. The Mets are going to hit some home runs. So,
God, I hope so.
how about a Jarrett Young, Carson Binge, double dongs? I mean, not 2 home runs each.
Definitely wasn't expecting to hear Jared Young in that scenario, but can make sense. Plus 560 on DK, it looks like. But yeah, that's all we got for today. If you guys are members of DFS Army, hit us up in Discord with questions. One of us is coaching tonight. It's probably me, but
Hey, I don't even know if I signed up for any. I forgot.
You did not. If you want one of them, you can take it from me because I took the one that was just wide open. But if you're not a member, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, I believe I should have got the confirmation before we went live. I believe you can still use promo code BOOK, BOOK, for 20% off any DFS Army sub. If that does not work, hit me up on X or in Discord, and I will get you a updated code that will work. Join us and all that fun stuff. There's a link in the description. You can check out the pricing and all the different memberships we do have. Baseball only, NFL only, Core 4 as well. We're back tomorrow around the same time. If one of us isn't winning tonight, hopefully one of you guys takes something down. When you do, hit us up with screenshots so we can celebrate you. Hopefully you win enough, can win swag bags and all that stuff too. We're out. I'm rambling. We'll catch you tomorrow. Helmets up, everybody.
Got the best coaches in the game, we really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets casket is top. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got too many. Get your check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted.